Good evening. It is June 24th, 2025. Welcome, welcome. I'm Glenda Carlin, and this is my weekly A Course in Miracles and Buddhist teaching. And I combine both because Buddha teaches about Rigpa, it's called clear light. And of course, A Course in Miracles is the clear light of spirit that we all are, to look beyond the form to that. And Buddhism is treacherous, cutting through, seeing through. And even Jesus's advanced forgiveness is seeing through, being through. So I hope each way I point towards this clear light, that your mind, your nature of mind, from the Course or Buddhism, it helps you, because it helps me. It's all helped me. Now I've noticed in my voice is kind of weak. It's changing. Terry Wagers, she's visiting family in the Arkansas, so won't be here this evening. But she tells me how my voice has changed through this awakening process, and I can see that it's doing a change. Oh, because this throat chakra is opening up. And of course, when I was studying the Course, I never thought about chakras. I was too busy trying to sort true from false. But you all are way past sorting true from false. So that's why I'm sharing what the experiences that are occurring within my subtle light body that everybody has. I'm not special. I wrote that in the email. I'm not special because of this awakening I'm experiencing, because each of you are awakening in your own way. But what's happening is we're coming back to our natural state, which is this clear light, where all the chakras are open, spinning different colored lights, the rainbow colored lights, the crown chakras white. I mean, all these chakras are opening, emitting light, because we're a light being, Jesus says, we're a light being. But anyway, the throat chakra has not been worked on that much with the energy, except this last week. It was Friday and Sunday when the light energy was coming through into my head from the great ray, and the yin and yang energies were really coming into my head and stayed in my head, in my throat area. And as I saw them stay in this area, I thought, I've been wondering when the light energy was going to get to this throat chakra some more. Because through these months and almost a year, I can feel and sense the light. It moves through, the great ray moves straight down, comes straight in that BINDU chakra at the back center of the head, comes down the center of the body. And depending on what Holy Spirit and this great ray light want to do, I can feel either wedges of light or concentrations of the light, and then feel it move and it'll stay, or it'll go up and down because it's clean and it's healing. These obscurations or judgments I've had about my brothers and sisters, not just this lifetime, but all lifetimes. But for sure, this throat chakra is being worked on this week. So, of course, I invite in Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, and enlightened beings to be here with us. They're always here with us. They're always helping us. But for sure, guide me what to do or say, and help those here have insights that are needed for their awakening. And then we can just take a breath, just take a deep breath in, and just kind of just say, and just kind of relax. Relax as these words come through me out to you, out to God Ed, God Angela, God Barbie, God D, God Leon, God Kareen, and those that watch this video later. Now, in my email, I sent out, the subject was multi-purpose. So I'm going to read these things and then I'm going to just do a few things and then go into some practices that we can do to help heal the seeming fall from grace that the Son of God did. The word seem is because did not really happen, just seemed to have happened, because nothing can separate God essence, God presence from itself. Nothing. Only in a dream could we think we're a form separate from source, separate from our brothers, and separate from our true nature. But we can wake up from this dream, this illusion. That's what the Course is for and what Buddha teaches. So here are these subjects that are within that email. I felt healing of body, speech, and mind. See, the throat chakra is speech. The second one is rejoined heart, mind joined together. And that, the body, speech, and mind, they got, each are opened, getting opened. And third, enlightenment can result due to meditating on emptiness. And emptiness is a Buddhist word that means vast spaciousness, this purity, this clear light, vast openness that is the true nature of mind. But we meditate on emptiness and at the same time think or sing the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra. And then there's 14 practices to relax into your godly equal love. Equal love is what this unconditional love, I call it, still nature. And then 5, I'm going to talk about, there's some holy ritual instruments that Lama Surya Das will play. I've not seen him use these instruments very often. But one morning within the email, I woke up and I was chanting or silently singing this prayer. It's called Prayer of Machik, Machik. I think I'm spelling that right. And then in the background, I heard this beat of a drum being hit, a beat, and a bell ringing in a certain sequence. And what I realized was I was rehearing Lama Surya Das do a ceremony with an ashram group out of the Bahamas using these two instruments. One's called a chod, CHOD, DHARAMU drum, and the dorji bell. So I'm going to show you a picture of that. Okay. Oh, and since that is the first thing in my list, let's just go there. The heart mind. Now, what this machik is, Machik. And, I got the piece of paper and it's in the email. This woman, it's a woman, not now Tara's female typically, but within Buddhism, you don't hear of female deities that often, but of course there are. But Machi, her name is Machik Labron, Labdron. She was a 12th century revered teacher, mother, and matriarch of the CHOD lineage. See, within Buddhism, there's these different branches. But she was one of the most revered masters in Tibetan Buddhism. And when she was on her deathbed, she transmitted this prayer to her son, who became her Dharma heir and continued her work. And in my email, I list the first part's written in Tibetan, and the second part is in English. So just picture, that was kind of a shock to me. I wake up And that prayer, I'm silently singing that prayer in my mind. So I end up going to YouTube and finding that video and re-listening to it, but I took some pictures. And I'm going to share some of this because see what's happening now is through my voice, words of this truth and my experiences, they're going out, they're being transmitted. And those that have ears to hear and eyes to see will pick up whatever they need from within this teaching. But so when see these when they're called a lama, they're not called a lama by chance. They have to go through certain 3-year trainings, et cetera, and learn how to burn up karmic seeds in each of us to help us remove these judgments that are laid deep in the unconscious mind within our physical heart and our body and our chakras. They're actual granular, these judgments actually become like little granular things that lay within our form, mind, and heart. But they've been taught how to burn these seeds, how to use that. Remember, I talked to you about that amrita oil that in the original design of this body, the Son of God had to put an oil, a lubricant down the great ray tube so that this high speed great ray light energy and yin and yang energy wouldn't have friction. And that oil came down into the body. It oils the organs, the cells, but it oils the chakras. And then within certain chakras, there's a pilot, like a flame, a light there, that when that amrita oil re-hits it, it bursts that flame. There's a flame in the heart chakra to help burn. Just picture all the lifetimes, all the heartbreaks we've had of our loved ones that passed or our hearts broken for whatever reason. And we store those hurts and feelings because we don't know how to let go of them. Because that's what Jesus teaches and what Buddhism teaches. We don't repress or deny. We are letting these feelings come and go. We're not ruminating on them, but we're letting them come and go. But also, as we awaken and open to our natural essence, this oil comes in and flames your heart. So it's burning karmic seeds. There's a flame in the solar plexus chakra to burn and ignite the sun. There's a flame in the crown chakra and a flame in the root chakra. But anyway, the purpose of all those flames is for the body to naturally heal itself. This isn't, there's a purpose to all that. They're not, it's so the body can naturally heal. But I want to show you a picture. Let's see if I've got this. No, that's not the best picture. Here's a good picture. What this holy instrument is, it's a round drum. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's a drum. It's got two sides. Here's a side and another side. There's a piece of leather that comes off with a ball attached. And as he turns his hand, this strip with the ball hits this side and the other one hits the other side, and they alternate. But look what's coming down from the bottom center. This is what I want to show you, is this strap. It's called a sash. But up there, there's kind of like a little differentiation between that area. That represents source above your head. This strip is about 2 inches wide. And within the strip, there you go, there's 7 chakras. Nobody's ever explained this to me. I looked at it and I thought, I counted them. There's 7 chakras. That flat strip is signifying the channel the great ray comes in down your body. And then on the sides of it, this is a long yellow yarn, like made up of threads of yarn. This is, well, I'm not sure what side I'm pointing to. This one and this one, that's referring to the yin and yang, masculine and feminine energies that are around the great ray. And then at the bottom, see these holy Dalai Lama and Tukus and these Tibetans, they take this stuff real serious. These three tassels at the bottom signify body, mind, and speech. So in this ritual, he's ringing. Let me see if I got that. He is, I'm going to play just a second. Well, just kind of, just picture see that drum turning right to left? That ball is hitting each side, making a thumping sound. And in his, let's see, hand of the right hand is a bell he's ringing. And he's singing this prayer. And he tells these people that are there, you don't have to do anything. Let me meditate for you. Now I will find I think I put it in our text group. There's a link to this YouTube video because see, you really don't even have to understand anything. Person just, if you want, you just rest, you're just still, and then you just feel that heart, that beat of that drum and that bell. It's touching these chakras and helping open up your subtle body if you want to do something like that. But what I found is that was helping open up my body, mind, and speech. And what that refers to, the crown chakra is the Om, O-M, and the Om sound in general is the sound that's made when the great ray and yin and yang as joined light forces come in the great ray tube. They make that sound as they go down this tube from source down this tube. It's Om, Aum, Aum. And simply thinking about that syllable or chanting it helps open up the channel, the meridians, your mind, your heart. But this opening of the crown chakra signifies union of form and emptiness. Now, what that means, form means our physical images, and emptiness refers to this clear light of God essence, the union of form and emptiness. Because when I was studying the course before I found Buddhism, I was denying the body. And see, that's just part of it, was learning what was true and what was false. Of course, in reality, the body does not exist. In the absolute, the body doesn't exist. The physical world doesn't exist. Good and bad doesn't exist. But we right now are asleep in dualism. And like Jesus, when he awoke, he embodied this God light and he walked the earth. He embodied it. He was an embodied Christ. That's what Buddha became, an embodied Buddha. So that's what each of us are becoming if we open up to it. Because I want to go past where we're just thinking words from A Course in Miracles and practicing truths to going for the experience, because that's what Jesus says the Course is. What he wants is the experience. That's what he wants you to experience. The ultimate lesson is to experience your clear light nature, etc. So that's why I am sharing what I'm going through, because we become an embodied Christ, an embodied Buddha. The physical form, all these in subtle light body, gets awakened and opened to where the light emits. Anyway, so that's called union of form and emptiness. The throat chakra opening signifies the indivisibility of speech and emptiness. And speech is that we'll have ethical values, right thought, right moral compass, and speaking the truth from the angle of A Course in Miracles or Buddhism, though are indivisible. Speech and this clear light of source is or called emptiness or indivisible. And the hung is the heart chakra. And when it opens, it signifies pure awareness and emptiness are in union. Duh. So all that's going on, and it goes on more than once. This is a process for me. I was a hard nut to crack, I guess. Plus, I also realized these things are happening to me so I can share them because I don't know which one could help a person save them years of work or help them wake up sooner. So that's another reason why I believe all these, I present to you all kinds of different teachings, images, etc. Okay, now let's see. I did that. I did that. Our natural state is where this body, speech, and mind are all open and in union with the clear light of God presence. Then on Friday, June 20th, this teaching that I sort of presented last week about that holy enlightened being, Diljo, D-I-L-G-O, Khyentse, Khyentse. And you know, I was incorrect. I was listening to a YouTube video that Richard Gere was narrating, and Matthew McCard was pretty much a lot of the director and etc. It wasn't 50,000 people showed up when this man was cremated, but 60,000 people. So I preface that because this means what this truth that I'm practicing to me, besides meditation and doing sky gazing meditation, practicing Jesus's advanced forgiveness, where we look past the body to from the flesh to the spirit, and Buddha's Trechet, seeing through, being through. I truly believe this is the most transformative practice I've ever done. And that's the practice of that all beings have been your parents. So what I'm gonna, when I sat with this, so next week we're gonna actually do a meditation. I'm writing a meditation about it and a more thorough explanation of it for next week. But what I found was, and I should also, it's in the email, but I said it last week. But in case there's new people watching videos from me, excuse me, if you don't believe in, because I'm asking you to all beings have been your parents in past lifetimes, people can go, there aren't past lifetimes. I don't believe in that. So you can search the course. Foundation for Inner Peace has a searchable website. You can look up a phrase or a word, just search the word thousands. And in it, you'll find where Jesus says, if you do this or do that, this will save you thousands of years. I'm not kidding. That's a shockaroo. Or he'll say, just simply resting in this pure, clear light, just resting in this stillness, this pure, clear light, that'll save you centuries. Now, how in the heck can he save you thousands of years or centuries unless you're not alive during thousands of years? Because until we wake up from this dream of separation, our belief structure is that we are a body. And so therefore, a body gets born as a baby and dies. And then we die, and then in that death bardo, if we don't choose to go to the clear light, and the clear light can be pretty hard to see if it's clear, right? What would be more prevalent might be, big colors or little monsters or images trying to get your attention to take you back to the bardo of a form. In essence, there's 6 different realms. But anyway, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. And that Gary Renard, he's got a book, How to Break the Cycle of Birth and Death. But anyway, y'all can believe what you want. I'm just saying, here's a way to rise from the fall, into the belief of a physical realm is your home, into hell. Okay, so the common thing that I experience by practicing this is the impartiality that you practice it. So if your parents were not loving to you, first you just got to set that aside. Because when you're at the groceries, well, the grocery's not a good one, but if you're in a Zoom meeting, you're watching a ball game on TV, like I go to the health club. So when I'm sitting on a machine and exercising, I'll just pause and I'll look out and I pick a person, impartial, I don't know, just pick someone. And I think of them as my parent in another lifetime. And when I think of them as a parent, and this is immediately what came to me, images of them holding me as a baby. So you picture yourself as a baby and they're holding you, like in their arms. And their arms, they're holding you and your baby body's in their arms and they're holding you against their chest. And then for some reason, this just happens. A rocking motion starts because this rocking motion that happens when a baby's in your arms is natural because that rocking motion is mimicking the great ray light that comes in, goes through your whole body, and then goes out. Comes in and goes out. And what it does for me, it rocks my body, this physical body. So this motion that we naturally feel when we're holding a baby is mimicking your natural state when this great ray's coming in and out. But anyway, so you're held against the chest of this person and you can feel, then you want to relax. The baby wants to relax. And you're just talking to yourself. And before you know it, you feel the warmth of their flesh under their clothes. Then you feel their heartbeat come in and go out. And if you relax, just relax, your heartbeat will synchronize up with theirs. Then you'll feel their chest expand and contract. I don't know what sequence this will be in, and that's their breath coming in and going out, which matches the in and out movement of the great ray and yin and yang. But anyway, I digress. So you feel their breath, and before you know it, your breath synchronizes up with their breath. And you'll silently hear they're cooing to you. Oh, they're just looking at you. You just picture what you do when you're holding a baby and you're rocking it. I love you. I love you. You're so cute. You're so beautiful. I wish you happiness. I love you. And before you know it, the baby silently is replying back to the parent. I love you. I love you. You're the best parent ever. I feel your loving embrace. Thank you for keeping me safe. Now we're talking about these loving parents. Forget your past. So that's just one person. And if you can, in a series, in an event like this, practice on, go to another person, pick another impartial person, do the same thing with them, and then pick a third person. And then when you get home or in the next day, you're watching TV, pick a person on TV, news commentator, person playing basketball, I don't, what, an actor, I don't, it doesn't matter. And you go through this same thing. Now, what's happening, the more you do this, what's happening, you relax more and more and more. And what you're doing, you're relaxing, flopping and dropping into your true nature, beyond thoughts, beyond judgments. And this is what Jesus in the Course asks you to do all the time. Let all these thoughts go. Well, this is a way to do it. You just let go of all these thoughts and judgments, and you naturally relax into equal love. You'll feel the love you feel for each one of these impartial people you do not know, the same equal love they have for you and you have for them. It was mind-blowing for me, because I think I told you last week, I've heard the word unconditional love. I've said unconditional love, and means no matter what a person does, you still feel unconditional love for them. But I'd never felt it. I'd thought it. I know what it meant. But here, I'm not kidding you, is a way to drop into this natural, unconditional love that is your true inheritance. It is wild. That holy man, the 60,000 people showed up for his funeral, cremation, could sense it about him. He gave off unconventional love. And I'm sure he could see through whatever karmic thing they needed burned up, and he'd do it. I mean, what a holy man. But it's this equal love. It's mind-blowing. But what is this whole thing is, because see what's happening, how that's rising up from this descent into hell. Belief that the physical body is your existence, to this clear light spirit that's unconditional love. Oh, so then you will feel equal love to your parent, this loving nature, and then you'll feel this equal love come back from them. Oh, yeah. Now, and of course, you can practice on your family members as well, because as many people as you can, as often as you can, because truly, this is one of the most transformative awakening experiences I've ever done. All right, let's see. Let's go to I made a list of 14 practices that I've done over the years. It starts on page 12 of my email, but I'm just going to read down here some. All these practices have in common is they're trying to get each of you to relax. Just simply damn relax, which is not normal. We're tight, contracted, apprehensive, etc. That's the way the body is, and mind and heart. But all of them have in common wanting to relax the body, heart, mind, and just inner be. Just feel this back and forth movement of this great ray light as your body's rocked in the arms of your parent, and you'll come to the realization that parent is representing source, divine God, holding you, embracing you, loving you. And it represents the union of mother and child. it's called sometimes, or it's called union of God with the Son of God, all the children. But I try to do it both ways. There's a mother God. There's a there's no gender to God, but heck, you know. Okay, but one of these first practices is the practice of non-doing. And that practice is the one Jesus says will save you centuries of effort. Do nothing is to withdraw the body's value from your mind. Well, see, and that's what this practice of all beings have been your parents. That's what it's getting you to do, is to withdraw the body's value from your mind, dropping all thoughts and judgments, and you end up just being with that your loving nature. Breathe, relax, and smile. I can't say that enough. Okay, we covered about the parents in prior lifetimes. Oh, and before I go on from that, all beings have been your parents. Now that means insects, animals. So you can picture a bug, picture an animals, different animals. Because while you're doing that, see, the mind, when it fell asleep, it separated itself from from union with all its brothers and sisters. All these bugs, insects, have the same clear light spirit in them. Matter of fact, of course, trees, all the greenery stuff does, but even rocks, solid things, they're just compacted light, just more compressed light, but they're all light. They all in space. Quantum physics has proved that. But anyway, don't forget the insects and the animals when you practice that as your parents. And so then, like when I did it with the ant, I'd picture I was a little ant at the feet of my mama ant, you know, and she's cooing and making over me, and I'm making over her. Well, you do whatever you're going to do because you get in that place where you just feel loving and you're just communicating, going with the flow. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It spills over into your day. Okay, now sky gazing meditation. And here's a quote from that Lama Surya Das. He says, in this book, Make Me One with Everything, he's got different meditations, but um, it has new and instructive teachings on how to integrate meditation and spiritual practices with everyday life. Now, these practices, they don't come from Buddha, they come from him. And they're words in English like I would use to talk about describing a different type of meditation. You know, there's different meditations that may help you open up to your true essence more than others. Are you tired of trying to get away from it all? Me too. Let's meditate and mergitate with everything. See, that's the word. Instead of meditate, meditate, mergitate. See, that's this rejoining where you relax and this light space passes through your skin and it just connects and merges with this clear light that's here everywhere. But meantime, if we don't do these practices, this hard body holds us separate from this clear light. The clear light's within us and everywhere, but we've set out a border, an edge, an armor that stops us from feeling it. So I'm just trying to help you relax to feel this. Um, Now in this, let's see if I did this. I think I talked to you last week about the overthinking mind. Because when you realize your mind's overthinking, you just let thoughts and feelings come and go. But if you're overthinking the same, you find you're overthinking the same kind of thoughts, write them down in your journal and practice Jesus's advanced forgiveness on them. And then also maybe set that person in front of you and practice them being a parent in another lifetime to you. Each time you realize you're thinking of the past or future, to take charge of your mind and think about God. or, or take your attention back to the spaciousness behind your forehead or the spaciousness that's right here, right now, in the clear light. You all have got some kind of drill that you're identifying God presence in a certain way. Now, our suffering comes from us having attachment and aversion to some of these thoughts and feelings. Now, granted, the body can have pain, it can do all these things. And we do take our meds, visit the doctor, acupuncture, whatever you do, feel comfortable with, but yet you still are breathing back in and out of the area and the pain and relaxing, asking Holy Spirit to help you. Relax, relax, breathe into that area, realizing that Jesus teaches pain comes from the mind. So then if you go to your mind and you do that, remember, do nothing, meaning look in your mind to this spaciousness and rest there in that spaciousness if you can. Or if it's a picture of the blue skylight nature of mind, the blue sky is like the skylight nature of mind. Because the biggest thing, hardest thing, one of the hardest things I had to do was how in the heck to rest or to be within clear light. Well, you just do the best you can. Remember I said to you one time, it came to me to pour yellow cake batter down the top of my head. So the yellow cake batter would go out every cell of my body. It gave me a little texture to take my mind and rest there. Because, golden yellow light, that's sunlight, God light. It can be, God light's various colors. But anyway, we do what we got to do until finally you don't need to visualize anything. It's that clear light, spacious presence is just there, and you're resting with it, being with it, even when you walk around doing your stuff during the day. But it's just a process. But if we don't try to rest or be with that clear light, how can you ever pull it off? We can't just think words about this. Actually try to practice doing it. And that's why meditation is important and can help you relax into that. As a result of meditation and breath work and forgiveness work, the 5 elements within the body, they get transmuted into spaciousness, this clear light spaciousness, or this guide golden presence. I read something in one of Dil Joe's book, Kinsey's book, Khyentse. Even gold in its raw state has impurities. And so they heat it, whatever they do, they heat it, and they separate out the impurities, and they're left only with this gold, right? In essence, that's what we're doing in this awakening process. As these obscurations or impurities, these judgments I've had about my people in this lifetime and others, people in this lifetime, for me, represent all the people in my other lifetimes. So if there's a difficult person in my lifetime now, they were there in the past, but they're there for a specific reason. I see it. If there wasn't a difficult person or something odd or suffering of any sort, I could feel like everything's just hunky-dory and not even question that this physical realm is really exists or not. Picture that some people never question. They just think this is the deal. This is not this physical realm was just a Garden of Eden that the Son of God made in order to play with images. he got tired of bored with an absolute realm where there was only stillness, no change, total stillness, just not even awareness. Because with awareness, you got two-ness. Something's aware and it's aware of something. But anyway, so he created images, the Garden of Eden, and injected his spirit into them and first invented them and designed all these miraculous machinery, holy miraculous machinery. But anyway, but you all are questioning that. Many folk never do. At some point, that's the purpose of suffering, is to turn within and go, there must be a better way. How can I look at this differently? And we're not here to be abused or anything. We can set boundaries. We can walk away from circumstances, but yet, as soon as we can, remember this person, this event is only this clear light of spirit. They're God, God, God. I love you. I love you. Oh, so one of our practices is to think of each person as God. I love you. Well, see, once you practice this Diljo Kinsey's, all beings have been your parent, you will feel equal love for these people. You won't have to say, to them, correct yourself by saying, I love you to them. You will naturally feel loving to them. I'm not kidding you. It's wild. It really is transforming. But anyway, now the number 5 is space mingling meditation. To connect and dissolve with space. You picture the purpose of all these practices is to get you to relax your mind so it relaxes and flops into this spaciousness. But so you practice. So I remembered, so I remembered how I did it several years ago. This would be 5 years ago or so, but I never know which of these practices might help you right now. I'd read a sentence that said basically, connect and dissolve with source. So during meditation, sometimes there'd be a gong going off and I'd follow the sound of the gong until there was no sound. And then I'd continue taking my attention into no sound. Keep going into no sound. I don't know how many times. See, back then I didn't keep track of, I really didn't know the significance of what I was doing. I don't know how many times I tried something like that. It wasn't always a gong. I would just think about a sound, just like there'd be a sound, and you can picture in your mind the sound happens and then it stops. But that sound, they prove them with, I don't know what the equipment's called, but they measure it. There's a slighter unhearable vibration to this ear, but that vibration is still going. I forget what this is called. It's not really a tuning fork, but I forget. They've got these forks. So in just simply following a sound, once it stops and following into no sound, see that no sound is vast spaciousness, is that vast, clear light God mind. So you're really traveling, you're really being in that God mind and don't know you are. But you just keep practicing. And and then at some point, that's when I had that experience where my mind dissolved into space. And the only reason I knew it had dissolved, I came back and I knew there was awareness was present. Before, when I was gone, there was just the absolute. That's why we can't describe the absolute, because there's not awareness there. But anyway, you get the gist of it. And then, of course, that miraculous space mingling meditation that's in A Course in Miracles that I didn't know was space mingling until after I did it was chapter 21, I-8. And that's the one where you take the little arc, the little tiny arc, that's just a corner of a circle. If you drew a circle with a pencil, even if it was a white pencil, where the curve of that circle is the little tiny arc. And you just print out that meditation. It's in my email, divide it up. This is what I did. I printed it up and then I divided it up into what Jesus, the steps. And see, Jesus doesn't break all this out because I think a lot of it is he wants you to have the dedication and the thought, well, I'd damn like to do that. How can I do that? And it comes to you how to practice. So on this one, it says, well, I just broke, it's in that T21I8 and it's in here. Let's read it here. Beyond the body, beyond the sun and stars, past everything you see and yet somehow familiar, is an arc of golden light that stretches as you look into a great and shining circle, and all the circle fills with light before your eyes. The edges of the circle disappear, and what is in it is no longer contained at all. The light expands and covers everything, extending to infinity, forever shining and with no break or limit anywhere. Within it, everything is joined in perfect continuity. So I printed that baby out. I broke it up into these sentences: beyond the body, beyond the sun and stars, past everything you see and yet somehow familiar, is an arc of golden light. So I had that, and then I went, and then the arc of golden light stretches as you look into a great and shining circle. Then the next line was, and all the circle fills with light before your eyes. The next line, the edges of the circle disappear, and what is in it is no longer contained at all. The light expands and covers everything, extending to infinity. Within it, everything's joined in perfect continuity. Now, let me tell you, it took me months to memorize the paragraph, then to divide it, and I had it printed out on a piece of paper. I'd have to open my eyes and redo the sentence in my mind. I think that sentence, and I go, what does that mean? The arc of light stretches to, and as you look into a great and shining circle, then in my mind, I see that arc form a circle. So see, you're talking to yourself, you're visualizing. Then I'd forget what the next step was. I have to read my list. It took months. Wait, 4 years. 4 years practicing that. Well, it took months before I could do it without reading my notes, but 4 years off and on for that arc of light to be released and the great ray light to download. But it sure as heck couldn't have happened unless I practiced. All right. Basically, that's a space mingling meditation because the circle fills with light, the edges of the circle disappear. So when that edge of that circle disappears, that space is going out here into the space of presence. And then that space extends to infinity. So you see in it, extend to infinity. Oh, it's so beautiful. Jesus, thank you, Jesus, for that meditation. Oh, and I'll give Gary Renard credit. I learned of it from him in a CD. I had the Course in Miracles book and had a CD, his CD about this. Oh, wait, and his Disappearance of the Universe book. Because without that book, didn't know what advanced forgiveness was. My teachers didn't teach it at Unity. If they taught it, I wasn't ready to hear it. I didn't know what it meant, didn't practice it. Because see, where the rubber hits the road is, I take that truth and I'm going out there thinking, as often as I can, is that person flesh or is that person spirit? Simply thinking of them that way is so powerful, let alone that you get to the point you actually see past the form to the clear light of spirit And then that keeps practicing. Oh, it's so powerful. Just thinking these truths, but then integrating them in your daily life. Okay, number 6, welcoming people into your crystal heart cave. Now, see, I learned of that from Timo Speckens and Martha in our daily meditation group. The physical heart actually is the heart cave. And you want to see it come open to make a cave, got an opening to it. And the inside of the cave floor and all the sides are lined with jewels, brilliant colored jewels, crystal heart cave. But you're welcoming everybody in there. As many people as you can remember, all the victims of all the wars. You picture a war and then haul all those people into that heart cave. See the great ray light wash vertically back and forth over them, back and forth, asking them, please forgive. Please forgive your hurt, how you died, your pain, these people that shot you, please forgive them, please forgive them. If they'd known better, they would have done better. If you'd known better, you would have done better. Oh, because see, that is causing again another way of not separating ourselves from all these sentient beings, not just this lifetime, but all these wars back to the Crusades and the Mongolia when they were in Vikings and all those stuff, and World War II and Vietnam War and all, whatever, all those. I don't even know how many, it'd be 1 million people be killed due to wars. I don't know, but you're wanting to help release them from their grievances, for them to feel the clear light of spirit and love that they are. All right, how we doing? 8:01. So let's do another one here. Let's do losing your grip. Oh, loosening. I think I spelled that wrong. Loosening your tight grip on things should to where you consider other possibilities. Now, see, what this is doing is having empathy. Just consider bring to mind different cultures. And I think here's one I heard back in Germany, some high-ranking person who later became head, if I got this right, to the UN. This person lived in Germany and belonged to the group of boys that Hitler had these little camps where the little children were in little camps, like Boy Scouts or whatever, but they were in these little camps. Well, that was the culture of the time. And so if you put yourself in that position, if your parents and you had been there, this probably would have done the same thing. And so then you can overlook maybe some of our grievances about those people and let them be the clear light of God that they are, and not these practices that they did when they were children that were attached to some hugely horrible regime. These little boy camps didn't actually practice this bizarre Hitler stuff, but I don't know what they practiced, but that's just what it was. But we loosen our grip on separating, how Chinese act, how Indians act, people from India act versus US citizens. You know what I mean? Because countries can have a collective karma, a way of holding themselves, a look they give off of it. And so these are just ways of separation between our brothers and sisters, loosening your grip. I will stop there. And I'll start back next week on number 8. number 8, and there's 14 of them here. And there's some other things I'd like to cover as well. So before we go, before I stop the recording, are there any thoughts, comments, questions? I think Martha calls it or rotten tomatoes. Oh God. Oh wait, I want to share something really sweet. So I meditated with this group on Sunday, with a group. And afterwards, the chat room was left open, so some of us chatted. And oh, I was a chatty Cathy, and I said that even to him. I think I'm being a chatty Cathy here. I was talking about that I called a friend that I hadn't talked to in 6 or 8 months or longer, and I realized now we had nothing in common. Whoa, that was a shuckaroo. Really, really, it was. Now, that doesn't mean I'm special, and they're not. We're all, it's just that I realize my life has shifted to what's important to me is thinking about God, meditating, being with God, resting, being aware of God, asking for help. I know you're there. um, oh, and that I didn't feel like bringing one thing up about my spiritual practice at all. That didn't come up at all. Because that wasn't the conversation. Or didn't any part of it brought up. But anyway, I was sharing that. Then all of a sudden, this lady, I guess I shouldn't say her name, first name is Linda, spoke up and says, "Oh, I want to share." She said during meditation, and she held her hand, this golden beam of light came from the top of my head down the center of my body, and she pulled her hand down the center of her body and then said, "I felt this swirling." Whoa, whoa. Her great ray opened right there in meditation in our presence. I jumped in there and I shared with her what you're experiencing is the Hindus call the core to light, what A Course in Miracles calls the great ray, which comes in the top of your head at that BINDU chakra, the head back of the back center of your head, straight down your body. It energizes and fuels your body and all the chakras as they awaken. And that swirling motion you felt is your yin and yang energies going around that great ray central channel. Woo! Woo! So why I'm sharing this is awakenings are happening in various ways. You all don't talk about it. You're awakening and you're not considering something that you thought differently about really is signifying, damn, I'm waking up. I'm not being like I used to be. I'm not irritated like I used to be. I'm not finding fault of these people at the coffee shop, you know. That's for Ed. But awakening, sharing because it's happening. It's happening. In the Dzogchen group I meditate daily with, you can see changes in people and what they talk about. They see colors of light like Barbie does in her mind, or Angela feels this soft radiance, union with light. Each of you, OD with the Om. I learned about the Om. You can listen to it. It's on my TV now, D. The Om mantra sounding in the background. Leon talking about the sharing he does, the service he does with his community. Ed with the service he does with the gentlemen and people he used to be in groups with, how he's sharing these truths of Buddhism and A Course in Miracles with them. Truths. It's so beautiful. And I'm awakening. Okay, anyway, any thoughts, comments, or questions? Before I stop, people love to hear what you have to say. If you so feel like saying something, nothing coming through, huh? Okay, so then we go around the room, you know the drill. This is a chance to practice. How we think of others is how we think of ourselves. Until that unconscious mind, we keep practicing, meditating, for advanced forgiveness, practicing on every being's been your parent, and you're building so many of these holy truths that this iceberg of judgment that used to be full of judgments, it gets tilted over to have holy thoughts in it, vertically ascend. So God Barbie, God Angela, God Ed, God Leon, God D, God Terry Wagers, who's with her family in Arkansas. Let's see, Joan Lloyd, Joanne, Gonzalo, Keith Irvin, James, Rob, Francis, Danelle, Alvaro, Leon's here, Debbie Thomas, Lynn Rowley, Lee and Brandon, Julie Bradley, DeBose, Julie Barker Gillette, Simone Foley and her son and husband. Kareen's here, Sally Quinn, Dee Bauman, Lucas, Joanne Trevor. I think I got her, Joan Lloyd. Angela's here. Chaz was here. Chaz. Casey Jones, Lorraine, Steve, Susan A., Jerry, Gabby, and any ones I miss. Oh, let's include Dalai Lama, Tuku's Lamas. Help all these teachers of A Course in Miracles and of Buddhism. Help them spread these truths. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.